Mariners win 5-4. They take the first two games of the series against those St. Louis Cardinals. They improve to 10-11 on the season. They have won two straight because you're all good at math. Let's talk about how it happened. First inning, Luis Castillo gets into some trouble, and Nolan Arenado, really good baseball player, singles to right, scores Lars Nootbaar. Mariners don't answer back in the first, but they do in the second. Jared Kelnick with an Oppo Boppo says it went 370 feet. Looked like it went a lot further than that to me, but the Mariners do tie the game at 1-1. Third inning. We will talk about this inning. Wilson Contreras doubles home Alec Burleson, and then Nolan Gorman actually does double to score Wilson Contreras to make it 3-1. Not a lot happens in the fourth and fifth, but in the sixth inning, Teoscar Hernandez, after a couple of pitches that should have been ball four, get called strikes. We will talk about this umpire for sure. Clobbers a home run to center to tie the game at 3-3. Seventh inning, Eugenio Suarez does a wonderful job with a pitch on his hands and lines it into left field to score Colton Wong and JP Crawford. 5-3 Mariners. Paul Sewald does allow a homer in the ninth to Tommy Edwin on a horrific pitch, but makes it 5-4, but he does the job for the rest of the inning. Mariners get a very big win. All right, let's start with the negatives because there are some negatives here. First of all, a negative that has nothing to do with the Seattle Mariners. Gabe Marquez is awful at his job. That was one of the worst home plate called strike jobs that I've seen in a very long time. He was awful. It was an awful job by a umpire who clearly is just not very good. On both sides, there were strike calls that are unexcusable. Unexcusable. And again, if you're not a fan of umpires at this point, or excuse me, if you're not, I know why you'd not be a fan of umpires. If you're not a fan of robots taking over here, it's just you being stubborn. There's no reason otherwise. I literally don't respect your opinion if you don't think that they should. I'm sorry. I don't. It is just you being stubborn and fearing change because they are so much better at it because they are literally robots than human beings are. Don't give me this human element bullcrap. You just fear change. I'm sorry. There's no reason. There's plenty for umpires to do outside of calling balls and strikes. Can't do it anymore. They're too bad. All right, negatives. Luis Castillo was just okay tonight. In fact, I think it's worth pointing out that he should have only given up one run. We'll get there. We will get there. I promise we will get there. It didn't have his best command. Really struggled in the first, especially. Did put himself into position to give up some runs by allowing some hard contact. But should have gotten out of the inning. We'll get there. I promise we'll get there. But, gets to 8 strikeouts. If that's the worst version of Luis Castillo is 5 innings of 3-run baseball, the Mariners are going to be okay. The Mariners are going to be just fine. But that was certainly the worst start I think he's had this year against a really good lineup, despite the fact that they're struggling right now. There are very talented hitters. Okay, negatives too. Top of the order, Julio had a really poor game. Really poor game. It started from the first inning where he took a pitch. And I get it. You want to make the pitcher work, all that stuff. But he takes a 40-grade fastball from Miles Michaelis down the middle of the plate and then swings at a pitch that was nowhere close to the strike zone and grounds out. He ends up grounding out 3 times, all to Nolan Arenado. And then he gets one pitch to hit and, he makes decent contact, but he doesn't get the job done. Not his best day. Another really bad day for Ty France, even though he does draw a walk. He's going through some things right now. He started out so hot, but I am seeing some things from Tim, to be completely honest, that makes me wonder how things are going to go later on. Any other negatives here? Oh, yeah. So Teoscar Hernandez, it's tough to get too hard on him when he hits a game-tying 2-run homer, right? That ball, again, has to be caught. The double that should have gotten Luis Castillo out of that inning is a ball that a good right fielder catches. He is not a good defensive player. You can show me any metric this year you want. I have these two last plays, and I have a history over the last couple of years that tell you that Teoscar Hernandez is not a good defensive player. He's not. In an ideal world, he should be the designated hitter. But it's not an ideal world. And the Mariners want to give him that chance to play right field. And I don't know what the great alternative is going to be. I have no idea what word I was trying to say there. I don't know what the real. It's a bad situation because AJ Pollock. Somebody in Twitter was trying to argue with me about this. AJ Pollock's a bad defensive player too, and in fact, I think Teoscar might be a better defender right now. It's not a good situation. And fortunately, it didn't bite him too bad in the Tuchus, but it's not good. It is not good. All right, let's talk about the good. Teoscar Hernandez, that homer is huge. It's one of the biggest homers of the year, easily. Massive, with down 3-1 after just two atrocious calls from that home plate umpire. To launch a home run to like that to the very, very, very rightist or very centerist of right center field, I guess I should say. Massive. Great offensive player when he's at his best. Jared Kelenic. Man, this is getting fun. You know what's fun about Jared Kelenic right now? Is the Cardinals manage their bullpen around Jared Kelenic today. That's pretty cool to see. And yeah, it actually worked for the Cardinals. They brought in a couple lefties and he didn't get hits. But you saw the homer and the double. Both baseballs were stung. This has been so fun to watch. I can't get over it. The Mariners could be 4-17 right now, and I'd still have a little bit of hope just because of how good Kelnic's been. Man. Really, really impressive start. He is starting to say he's living up to the hype is the understatement of understatements. I just love what I'm seeing from him. JP Crawford played a really good baseball game today. Goes 1 for 2 with a walk and makes a really nice play. The play I've been begging him to make over these first few weeks. Does a very nice job tracking the baseball, gets a great first step, and makes a play that has been a hit so many times against the Mariners so far this year. So many times. Not today. Great play. Great game. Man. Love to see it. I think JP Crawford, despite the fact that he's just I think he's in the bottom 1 percentile in barrels. I asked on Twitter today if he has even hit the ball to the warning track, and my buddy Luke Arkins pointed out that yeah, he actually drove one off the wall. But there's no power left. There's no power in that bat. Fine. Long as you get on base and play above average defense, I'm cool with it. I have not seen above average defense from him. But I have seen the ability to get on base. We talked about it. He was tied with Ty France. He's leading now. 392 on base percentage. Will absolutely play. The bullpen was really good tonight, despite the fact that Paul Sewald left a slider to Tommy Edman. That was a 20 grade pitch. Outside of that, they allowed 2 hits total. Justin Topa was great. Matt Brash was awesome. He does hit a batter with a slider, but getting Paul Goldschmidt to swing at that slider on a 3-2 pitch the way he did, and then getting Nolan Arenado, getting a couple of guys who I think might be Hall of Famers. I think Nolan Arenado is kind of a lock. Paul Goldschmidt's debatable, but I think he might get there. Just really nice to see, and a very nice bounce back from, the BABIP batting average balls in play to death that he had against the Brewers in his last outing. Matt Brash is going to be really, really good, folks. And good job by Penn Murphy as well. Really nice job. 9 of 9 pitches for strikes. Does get the strikeout. Sweeper was good today. Pitching was really good today. Really good. And it's been very nice to see how well they've played over these last 2 games. I will take scoring 5 runs and giving up, what, 6? So a total 10 runs is what I meant, and giving up a total of 6. Take that every time. Obviously, because you're winning. Yeah, that was a good win. That was a good win. Makes up for a disappointing Kraken loss. Had a golden opportunity there to go up 2-0. Dang. But yeah, so tomorrow we've got Cardinals against Mariners, obviously. The pitching matchup is not a favorable one. It is Jack Flaherty against Chris Flexen. Now, look, Flaherty isn't the same pitcher he was. We talked about this at the end of the video on Friday. He's not the Cy Young candidate that he was a couple of years ago, but, he's pretty solid. And I just don't trust Chris Flexen very much right now. I don't. So, very nice to get these first couple of wins because the sweep is icing on the cake. You did your job. You got these 2 wins. It would be nice, though, to get that sweep to just completely erase the sweep against the Brewers, to just say this is in the past. And it is in the past, but you know what I mean. Getting to 11-11 versus 10-12, not a huge difference, but it would be nice to just come out of this thing with a sweep because you're going on a big, big road trip. Big road trip. We'll talk about that more on Sunday, but these are big games. I don't care what anybody tells me. You go and you play really good baseball teams and then also Double-A Midland, but you go play good teams. I want to see them play well. It's for my sake, my sanity, my hope. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Crawford_MILB on the Twitter. Still mad they took my blue check. No, I'm not. I don't care at all. Patreon.com/MLB prospect guides. Please check that out. Put a lot of work into it. Sports Sometimes, my other podcast. Again, I'm having Christy Lemire on this week. Really excited for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. What'd you guys think of this game? You probably loved it because there wasn't really a whole heck of a lot not to love.